7:30?
Yes, I do.
Let's get started. I would like to end by 6:30.
Yes, ma'am. That sounds good to me.
Okay. Just putting that goal out there.
Okay.
Good evening.
Yes,
Good evening.
Hello.
we're calling to order the Veteran and Veteran Families Advisory Committee
It's a mouthful.
for October 7th. Yes, ma'am. I'll do roll call.
Okay.
Chairperson Laurel Ross.
Here.
Vice Chairperson Robert Miller.
Here.
Committee Member Scott Sims.
Here.
Committee Member Gus Douglas.
Yep.
Committee Member Kim Bean.
Here?
Committee Member Paul Dillman.
Here.
Committee Member Margot Orff.
Here.
Alrighty. Would anyone like to do an invocation?
Sure.
Okay, that'd be great.
Dear sweet Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to serve our veterans and to serve you. We thank you for all of our blessings. We pray that the money will come through soon for our soldiers especially and all the other government workers, that the government can come to terms with what they need to be doing. We thank you for our blessings and say these things humbly in thy Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, we all got sent the agenda. Are there any changes we need to make before we get started?
I don't have any.
No, no agenda changes then. We'll go right by what was put out. Awards and presentations? I
There are none.
don't have any.
No, ma'am.
No. Informational agenda, public input. Is there anybody here that would like to give us some public input before we start?
You guys are doing better.
Oh, thank you.
Well, stand up for about 2 minutes and
No,
put it
no.
on the record that,
You guys, oh, I gotta
no,
go.
that's all. I'm
It's
already,
okay.
You didn't fill out a blue card.
Okay, so the first thing is the approval of July 10th, the minutes that are there. I looked through them. I didn't see anything. Did anybody else see anything that needed to be adjusted or changed?
No, ma'am. Nope.
Okay, do I have to take a vote on that, or can we record?
Do like an official vote
Okay.
and motion.
make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I
Second.
second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I just clarify who
Yes.
the second was? Okay, beautiful. I just want to, I sure do.
That's
That's the only reason
okay.
why I just want to clarify.
Any opposed? Okay, so the meeting minutes from the last meeting are set to be filed as published. Thank you. So the first thing, Veterans Day program update. City's been working hard on this. I got to go to one of their meetings, and they've got a lot of things lined up. So.
Hello, Hannah Kirsch, Recreation and Events Manager for the city. So I'm going to be presenting some updates for our Veterans Day program. Everything is going according to our usual timeline. We did go ahead and meet with the Rotary Club, who partners with us to host this event. They are our communication through the high school, so they get in contact with our band and performers that will be at this event. Everyone has been fully confirmed and are good to go for it. We are looking to keep the event timeline pretty similar to previous years. We do have Octavius Clark from the Winter Springs High School doing the hosting for this year. Once again, this will be his third year doing it for us. We also will be having him do an introduction with our mayor, followed by an invocation with the presentation of colors. We also will have a performance from our Winter Springs High School band. This will only be done currently if the event is able to be hosted outside at the Veterans Memorial on Tuscaloosa and Blumberg. We are looking to get something done with the Winter Springs High School band, maybe some kind of recording done with them, so that if the event is ever pushed inside due to weather, we would still be able to play their performance for people to hear. It is a little bit difficult to do that sometimes, but we are trying to get that done with them. And then we are looking to update the honor roll of all of the veterans who are on the Veterans Memorial with the updated names and pronunciations. We are also looking to have our hometown hero presented. He has been notified of his recipient. he did go ahead and update the summary of what was presented to you. He wanted a few things taken out to be presented for everyone, so we did that for him. He provided some photos for it as well, and our award has also been ordered for him. And then once the Hometown Hero presentation is done, we will close the event with a closing prayer followed by a moment of silence and then taps at the end. One of the things that we did discuss with Captain Ross was potentially having an informational booth, something that the veterans who attend this event could use as a resource for programs within the community that could be helpful for them. One of the things I wanted to discuss with you is if you had any personal contacts with organizations that might be interested in putting something like this together. We did go ahead and get approval to move forward with this. And this would be something that we could do either outside at the memorial or inside here at the lobby in case it is moved inside.
So my question for you is that one information booth, so like if there's a couple organizations, we would have to all share the one tent that you guys would provide? Or is it, like, let's say the VFW, if you wanted to have a tent, they could bring their tent and be there to provide information about the VFW? What was discussed?
I believe at this point what was approved was just one booth currently.
Okay.
We are not exactly sure what the interest is of all the other organizations, especially since it is a bigger day where a lot of organizations also do their own events and things like that. So we wanted to, for now, see what the interest level is, maybe start with one booth and then potentially grow it.
Would you guys provide the tent, the canopy and the tables and things like that?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we need to go back to our organizations to see if we can provide a person and literature.
What time does the event start?
The event starts at 6 p.m.
When would you need to know that we have people that would like to be there for the information booth?
I would probably say at least 2 weeks prior, so that would be October 28th. That's really just for us to make sure that they are aware of the times that they need to be here. They're included on the event map. Our police department also is aware that they will be on site. 2 weeks gives us plenty of time for us to make accommodations for them.
Okay. Is that something you guys could all get to me and let me know? Can I be notified of that with the laws that, yes, they would like to participate in that, or does it have to go through the city? Like, could they let me know and then I let you know, or does it have to go?
We can, I know we contact Hannah
Yeah.
all the time on stuff, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can contact Hannah directly. If you want to send it to me, I can forward it to Hannah, however you want to.
Okay.
And what information do you want?
The name of the
Okay.
person and the organization that's going to be there?
Probably just the name, the organization, and a contact that I could reach out to them directly. Preferably, it would be someone that is readily available for contact. I know a lot of these individuals are very busy with their schedules, so someone that would be available.
Okay.
a
So I'm
majority of the
thinking
day.
one of you two could be the VFW POC and let her know that. Marine Corps League?
That's what I was gonna say. You can put down the Marine Corps League right now and I'll be the
Well, you have
contact.
to just email her. so she has
Yeah,
it.
we'll
Excuse
contact.
me, on that, Scott,
Excuse me?
that is the night of the banquet. You will be busy.
It is?
Yeah, we talked about this last meeting, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And then,
And
are
you
you
said
a
the
member
exact
of
same
the VFW Auxiliary? Could you see if they're interested in having someone there that evening?
Yeah, we'll organize that together.
Okay, so Hannah needs to know by the 28th.
Okay. How about the American Legion, Paul? I know you're a member of both.
We can check.
I will be leaving here and going to
Yeah.
the American Legion
Oh, okay.
staff meeting. So I will ask them at that point.
Any other military organizations in our community that we know of that we could reach out to see if they're interested? Submariners? Or is that kind of, I mean, that's Orlando area, that's kind of big.
Yeah, we'll bring it, we got a meeting next week, and we'll bring it up in our
Yeah.
meeting next week.
Okay,
And we'll have members of just about everybody in there, so.
okay. But Hannah is the one that needs to know. Any other questions on Veterans Day?
What exactly information do they want in the booth?
Well,
Name,
I'm envisioning
organization.
like one person, because it's one booth, one person from each organization. They would have to have their name tag or whatever. And then have like maybe brochures or to talk about what they're, you know, oh, you're a Marine, hey, here's a Marine Corps League, hey, there's what each of the different organizations is about.
Okay.
So see if
Because I
they're
know we
interested.
also have information about the hospital, the VA hospital. We also have
I would
information-
say just do what's available here in our community.
community.
And if
Okay.
they're interested in that additional information, they can come to you later on,
Okay.
just
Yeah,
because of space,
Paul would know better.
right? Does that sound good?
I'm still agreeing.
Okay. All right, does that sound like kind of what you were thinking, what was presented?
Yep, that
Great.
sounds great.
Any questions for us?
Can I get your card, Hannah?
Yes, I have it for you. I can bring it to you at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, let me get one too, please.
Of course.
Any questions for Hannah while she's here? No? Great, thank you for the update. We look forward to seeing you in November.
Thank you.
And then are you going to do the veteran program too?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So for our Veteran Banner program, we discussed this last meeting. Nothing has necessarily changed per se. We included all of your comments and concerns with it and have updated it for commission approval. Right now, we are still waiting for commission approval. It is going to be on our next commission meeting, which is on Monday, October 13th. And right now, the plan is once pending commission approval, it will be approved that night and become available for registration starting on Tuesday, October 14th, which is the next day, and then stay open until November 14th, which is a little bit pushed back since our previous date that we had discussed, but we wanted to make the accommodation just since the approval process has been pushed back a little bit due to some scheduling issues. One of the things that I wanted to highlight to you is one of the that will be presented to commission is our fee schedule. Our fee schedule is presented to the commission. It's part of all of the fees for the entire Parks Department is on this fee schedule, and this Veteran Banner program will also be included on it. It will detail what the initial banner fee will cost, which is that $200 rate that was presented. Also, the renewal fee for eligible banners in good condition for reinstallation, which would be at the $100 rate, and then a banner reproduction fee, which would be an additional $100. That fee would only be applied if a banner was damaged in any way and wasn't in the proper condition to be hung for another year, but that person still wanted to have it hung and reproduced. Other than that, that's all of the specific updates I have.
The question I have, I know there's probably questions all around, because it's been a while since we've heard the presentation. Is the city going to store the banners, or does the individual have to take them and then bring them back?
Yes, the city will store the banners. We usually store our banners every year. So we will store them, and then before we put them up, each year we'll take a look at them, inspect them. We will decide if they are in good enough condition to be replaced and hung for the next year. If they are not, we will be reaching out to that individual whether or not they are in good condition or not, so that individual is aware ahead of time and then can make the decision if not.
What was the hanging dates that they're going to cover?
So it would be about mid-January to mid-May.
Because that's when you hang the 4th of July,
Yes.
right? So they would come down for 4th of July.
So if this passes on the 13th and it becomes available on the 14th, how do we advertise to the public that we have this available for people?
So currently it's scheduled to go out on our city newsletter.
Okay.
We will also have information on our city website as well regarding the program. And then I believe we do have some social media posts scheduled as well. Our communications director is not here, but I think he left some notes.
When we spoke, he said something about doing a standalone. So it'll be in the newsletter, but there's
Correct.
going to be a standalone here.
Okay.
This is new, it's available.
Correct.
To
He,
push
yeah,
out,
he's
we
got
can-
2 things planned.
Yeah, and then we
For
can like and
advertisement-wise.
share it to make sure it gets out.
Yeah.
Are you going to let HOAs know about it? That way they can let their people know about it.
I believe they would be included on some of the send-outs that we would give. I don't know if we reach out to them specifically or individually.
Okay, because ours is voluntary, but
I would think
We
that your
try.
leadership in your HOA would be subscribed to the newsletter
I would
Yeah.
hope so, but I
and
never
maybe
know.
to the city. Maybe ask them.
I will. I'll ask Alex.
Yeah. Any other questions on that? Well, I have something. I was for the last 2 times it was scheduled, I was planning to be there. Well, they rescheduled it for Monday, and I will be out of town. Is there anyone else from this board that could be there Monday night for when they make the presentation? Just in case they have questions or it's misrepresented.
Sure, I got nothing else to do in life.
All right. So what time is that again?
I believe it's at 6:30 p.m.
6:30 on October 3rd.
And if I could, for the record, Brian Dunnigan, Director of Administrative Services and Operations. This item is a consent item for the commission, so there's not necessarily going to be a presentation to them on the program. They've heard the initial idea twice now, but more recently, sometime earlier this year, you all have seen the presentation, provided some feedback to staff, and staff took that feedback and drafted the agenda item accordingly based on the feedback from this board, and drafted the proposed amendment to the fee schedule as well. So that being said, the commission could obviously, they may have some questions about the program. So if they're inclined, or an individual's inclined to pull it off consent, that certainly could happen. But as of right now, it's just part of the consent agenda, not a standalone regular item.
Okay, I appreciate that, but it's nice to go ahead and have someone here just in case. So thank you. Yeah.
And it was October 13th, right?
Yeah, Monday.
Yes. Any other questions? I'm excited to see it get started.
I do also want to clarify the registration dates for future years. So this program would be available, in theory, year-round for someone to register for. It's not usually going to be a month long. So we would have them theoretically open in January of next year all the way until that October date. So they would have that chunk of time to register for future years.
Nice.
Okay, so that brings up a question. I mean, it's all year round. It starts in January. If somebody was to want to put, say, March, put in an application, does it get put up as soon as they get it, or
No.
is it just a certain, or does it have
Following
to wait
year.
till the next year?
The
It would be
following
for the
year.
following year,
Oh,
yes.
so there'll be just a certain time they're going to hang?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Thank you for persevering on that.
Thank you.
Newsletter items. Does anybody have any, okay, wait, here it says December, January. Do we already have a November one?
Oh, I apologize, that was my mistake.
That's okay.
It's supposed to include all 3, I
Okay.
apologize.
Okay. So VFW 5405 is collecting and making food baskets for HUD-VASH. That's for housing and urban development, veterans, whatever the heck it is. So if you want to donate food, they have a sign-up list at the post to sign up.
When is the final day?
The final date is the 7th of October, or 7th of November.
Okay, so it'd be that very first week.
Yes. They have to be at the VA by the 12th of November.
Anything else that someone has for November, a recommendation? The only thing I was thinking of possibly also is, since the information booth at the Veterans Day event is going to be new, maybe something saying, hey, this is new this year,
Yeah.
these people are going to be there. Do you think that might be better, or?
If we, yeah, in the November newsletter.
Right.
There
Yeah.
are 2 things that the communications director's he's already put out. He's going to, like I said, have the Veterans Banner Program, as
Okay.
well as the Veteran Memorial information will also be out in
Oh, good.
November's newsletter. So there's
Okay.
2 things additionally
Okay.
in November as well.
But since the information booth is new, I would think that that would be good to maybe advertise, hey, do you have a question about this, or this? Come to the ceremony and there'll
Yeah,
be someone
during
there.
Veterans Day ceremony, there'll be an information booth for veterans seeking veterans assistance. Words to that effect.
Could I write something up and send it for consideration? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hannah, would you let me know who contacts you? And I'll have, or what I can do is I can leave a space and you can fill in the space. Would that work? Okay, thank you. So I'll do that one. December, for the December 1st one, I would like it if you could write something about Toys for Tots and include where the different drop-offs are and the deadline. Could you do that? If you want to, you can write it and send it to me and I'll work with it, if that would help.
Okay, yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
The
Remember,
drop-off locations, though, is going to hopefully be extensive.
That's a big deal, because I've had year after year, people have said, where's the drop-off place for
Right.
Toys R Tots?
Right,
I don't know, let me call Marine and ask them.
Right.
And they automatically tell me, I just don't know.
right. So I would need that. When do you have to have your boxes put out?
Whenever they give them to us,
Okay.
there's no set dates to that.
So he needs the information for the newsletter by so 2 weeks before the 1st of December. So
Till mid-November.
maybe like after your ball.
My only concern with that is the amount of drop-off locations. As of right now, I spoke to the sergeant that's in charge, and like I said, I'm the one that kind of passes them out for Seminole County. As of right now, I've already got 26 locations.
Well, I would limit it to Winter Springs,
Yeah,
Oviedo, but also like the Post has one, but we're not open all the time.
Right.
Ones that have the most hours. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can
So
do
maybe
that.
pick the top 10.
That won't, yeah, that's,
Does that sound?
I could do
sound
that.
about right? 'Cause then
That makes
people-
sense. Do the top 10.
We're gonna be in location for that, right?
And then what about
I hope so.
January newsletter? What do we want to
Should
tell
be
people
never
about in
for that.
January?
We never have been.
Not for Toys R Us.
The only thing I have for January is, the last 25 years I've been involved in the Scottish Highland Games. And many times we've tried to have veterans, do the flag ceremony, because we've never been able to acquire either the ROTC from Winter Springs High School or others, because it always falls on that weekend when you have Martin Luther King. And so a lot of the ROTC groups end up going elsewhere for their flag. And so we end up with, I think, 3 times, I've had some veterans that have just walked out on the field with various flags for the different services.
What is the date of the Highland Games?
It's the middle of January, the 5th, Saturday and Sunday, the middle of January, right? It's Martin Luther, help me out, I don't have mine.
17th.
Martin Luther
17th?
King is a
Do it.
Monday.
I don't know,
And the time that the opening ceremony is?
It's really noon on Saturday.
Noon?
I just throw it out because I'll probably contact
Martin
some
Luther
people.
King Day is on the 19th, which is a Monday.
Okay,
So
this
this would be the Saturday.
before
The
the Monday,
17th.
it'd be
Does the
17th.
VFW have an honor guard or color guard?
No.
Could we
Well-
put in a request for
I will volunteer a color guard.
if the city,
I'm in okay,
It's Oviedo, but it's the American Legion.
let me contact you because the games, they have a committee that puts all the stuff together. And they always find out that because it's a holiday, Monday, everyone says, we were going to do it, but now we've been invited to go to some event, so they all end up going someplace. And then there's a ceremony at Winter Springs.
So we can find that out
Central
for you,
Winds.
because Kathy, who does all the
Yeah, I'll
the
get-
coordination from that, we see her all the time at our post. She's an auxiliary member for our district, so.
and that's not something that has to go through the city because it's an event.
Correct, yeah, just to clarify, the city's
Okay.
role in
Yeah.
the programming of the Highland Games, we're really just providing the venue
Okay.
to the event organizer,
That's what I
which is
thought.
the Scottish American Society of Central Florida. So if there's a desire amongst the board to connect the event organizer with some of the veterans groups who may be willing to
That would be great.
Yeah, I
Do
We'll
that.
may
do that,
end up
Kim. We'll
calling
connect
you
you with
individually.
the organizer, Kim, so you could give him a hand, if you would, please. Thank you.
Let me ask this question. Does it have to be folks from Winter Springs?
No, actually, I mean, we've had ROTC groups from
Well,
It would be cool if
That's
we
where
could
I'm
do
going.
one.
Seminole County.
that's
from-
where I'm going with the question. I am involved heavily with the Young Marines. They would be more than happy to do it,
Yeah, but
because that's
I'll give you my
where,
phone number, we can talk about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The games committee relies on 2 or 3 people. Sometimes we've had the fire department from one of the coastal cities. I guess it's not Cocoa. Anyway, they've come with a group of firemen who are,
Okay. Well, we'll
But
work on,
sometimes
is
they
that
come
something we
and
can work on
sometimes they
outside of
don't.
here?
yes.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I'm the one that's always been trying to organize
Okay,
this
so
over the
Kim
years.
and you,
Yeah.
the 3 of you will talk.
January.
I'll be in
Okay.
touch.
All I need to know is the
This-
date and the time.
This
So
wouldn't be
the
the city,
question
it
on
would
the
be us,
table, the question
since
on the
we're all
table
here.
is, what do we want to put in the newsletter for January? Do we want to say, hey, come see this group that's going to be presenting colors during the event?
We could.
We could.
Okay.
Can we do that? Just, I mean, we would organize it not as a formal committee for the city. It would be just, I brought it up because we're all here.
Because there was
And
nowhere on
normally-
the agenda where it was.
Yeah,
You
normally
stuck
what
it
I've
in
done
there.
is gone around to the different tents on the field and said, you know, you a Marine, you an Army. I think 3 times we had Army, Navy, and Air Force, and each one would carry a flag.
Okay, so
Ready
moving
for
on,
the
November,
opening
we're gonna do,
ceremonies.
I'm gonna do a information booth. December, Toys for Tots, and January, we're gonna talk about the colors for the Highland Games. That's our 3 newsletter items. Okay,
Excellent.
all right, public input. Anything for public, do you have a
I was
question?
just gonna ask him, you have a store, a drop-off point for Toys for Tots, right?
I can have that, huh?
I'm
We
sorry.
would love to be one,
It's a
Yeah.
Toys for Tots question. Okay,
which is not city business.
so no more public input?
And so you guys are pretty much open all
I
the
have
time.
something before adjournment.
Yeah.
Christian sent me this, which is Veteran and Veteran Family Advisory Committee. It's the internal, which has our emails and phone numbers. I have it. These folks don't. Can he send it to the entire board so we know? Do you want to do you know what it is or, okay,
Yeah, that would be nice.
right. And it has the meeting dates right there. It's just nice to have it all together in one place. It tells you when your term expires.
Good.
So like a couple meetings before the expiration date, you'd say, yes, I'm interested in continuing, or, hey, you need to start looking for someone else. It will help the city out if we could do that individually for our seat, right?
Are we done with agenda items? Because I have a question about that very thing.
The what thing?
Are we done with agenda items? Because I have a question about that very thing.
Yes.
So, city people. The city website, the city calendar had this meeting scheduled for today and Thursday.
Right.
And it confused the heck out of us until we got notified recently that it was today.
It's because at your last meeting, you guys did a reschedule, and so we have to notice the reschedule as well. So your original date was for Thursday,
Okay.
and if you read the whole thing, it actually has rescheduled next to it, and you guys rescheduled
Yeah,
it
but
forward.
I don't think that was clear, because it did said rescheduled, but I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, yeah, it's just that it was there was a reschedule notice
Okay.
attached onto the item as well. And so we have to keep the reschedule notices up because we do have a tentative schedule that we approve at the beginning of the year. And so if there is a change, the reschedule notice has to stay up as well as the new scheduled meeting.
Tracking, thank you.
Yeah, so that's just the big thing is,
Okay.
actually on the topic of calendars, do you guys want to just real quickly verify to make sure that the date and time that you have scheduled right now is good for next year as well?
So on the sheet, I don't have the 2026 dates. so-
Correct. It would be because they follow the same pattern, so it's let me just double check.
And it's changed from Thursdays to now we're doing Tuesdays.
Well, no, this is just this day for Tuesdays. It was just the reschedule notice. So
Okay.
you meet every second Thursday of, it's January,
That would be January 8th.
yeah.
That's Elvis's birthday.
No. Well, I expect you to dress
It's al-
appropriately.
It's also 41 years from the day I joined the United States Army.
Ooh,
It's also Stephen's birthday.
Oh, my God.
that would be a
So many
celebration
things.
then. The Army will
April 9th would be the next, I think.
free beer at the
One second.
VFW.
I apologize. I should have had this.
It'd be June,
Nope,
July?
July 9th.
okay.
Yeah, January 8th,
Then April 9th.
April 9th,
July 9th.
yep. July 9th,
and
and then
October 8th.
October 8th, correct. And I just to verify to make sure that that still works for everybody, as well as the 5:30 start.
Good, good for me so far.
This was
And
a Tuesday or Thursday?
These are Thursdays.
These are all Thursdays.
Yeah, so usually your scheduling, like I said, stays within, it's the second Thursday of January, April,
July and October.
July, and October, sorry, because I usually have it
January
set.
8th is the next meeting?
good.
Sorry?
January 8th
Will be the next
is
meeting.
Yeah.
the next meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
And then while we're talking about chairs and things that are, or how long their terms are, the only person that expires next year in 2026 is Bob. So just be thinking about that. Well, I mean, if you want to
No, I'm happy.
continue,
No,
let us
I'm-
know if you're someone that
I'm-
you,
I will look around, everyone else should look around too. If you, anyway, I'll, think, and that would have to be nominated, to the city commission
And
then
it's an at-large, but it's next
by the
December.
8th for
For-
them to
for-
consider it for approval sometime within the next commission meeting after that? Would have to be, it would have to be approved by some commissioner, I assume.
Correct, yeah, for, if you want to
I
be
don't know who-
reappointed. It's an at-large, so it's one of those things out,
So
you're,
anybody could recommend somebody if you know someone who's interested.
I was like, you just need to let us know if you don't want to be reappointed.
Oh.
If so, then yeah.
Bob,
That
you want to
was the
be
question.
reappointed? Then just say, I
I
want to
don't
be
mind being
reappointed.
reappointed, but I have some, well, this is a recorded meeting, but anyway. I don't have any problem being reappointed.
Okay,
Okay,
You pass,
just want to make sure, yeah,
I'm
of
available.
course.
Took care of that.
thank you.
Reappoint that cat.
All right, any other questions before we close out? Any other items?
Some problems with the
All
city
right,
commission.
can I go ahead and adjourn us then at 6:01? Or 6 o'clock according to the clock in there? Thank you, guys.
Man, you rock.